We're a privately family-owned company that mainly service private homes. When our plumbers arrive on site, they've got so many different things that they need to assess. It's important that they also are extremely vigilant for any asbestos.
Plumbers need to understand that asbestos is still a current day problem. It's still present in many houses.
If they believe that the house is anything from sort of anywhere in the 1980s to older than that, there's a possibility of asbestos to be present.
Well, the challenge with working with asbestos is it doesn't always look like asbestos. It can be painted over, it be covered up by something else.
I can see an asbestos flue here. It's been painted for the purposes of sealing any fibres in. By us bringing up and mentioning and discussing asbestos with a client in their house very early in the quoting stage, the client can see that we have their interest and their well-being at heart.
And they need to have a checklist and a process that they work through as part of their work plan.
We have a standard procedure of dealing with asbestos. All of our plumbers have got masks and disposable overalls on their trucks. We have scheduling software where we don't overbook our plumbers. We have the phone numbers for occupational hygienists and removalists programmed to our phones.
We separate our plumbing quotes from any asbestos removal or identification quotes that we receive. The guys are well educated on where they should expect to see asbestos.
Asbestos is most commonly found in wet areas behind tiles.
Take a small sample of it and take it to a company to get it analysed for a positive or negative result.
Our plumbers know that if there's any issue on the job, they can leave the job, put it on hold.
We give them full authority to make the call on whether they believe that the job is safe or not.
If you mention the word asbestos on site, people get very funny about it. It's like it's pretty simple. You just get it removed by professionals and it's done. People go, oh, you know, you've got to shut the job down. We'll shut the job down. It's not a big deal.
What we've found in the past is the client's actually really happy with us for having brought it up.
100%, because they don't want it in their house either.
No.
If we accidentally spilled asbestos into a client's house, there's a high risk that they could become sick. There's also a high risk as financial implications for our business while the house is cleaned out at our expense.
Greg and I are always available to consult with our plumbers if there are any issues.
We undertake best practice when it comes to asbestos, which does cause us to sometimes be underquoted quite significantly by other businesses that don't take safety as seriously as what we do.
They will cut corners and just go ahead and do the job.
Well, the health risks are very considerable because the amount of exposure that will lead to a health problem can vary considerably between person to person.
Back in 2001, myself and my wife Barbara were going for a walk and she mentioned that she was out of breath. Barbara was diagnosed with mesothelioma and only 8 or 9 months after that she died. We used to bash the overalls up against the brick outside the laundry and she could notice a whole lot of dust coming off them but thought nothing of it. I approached the master plumbers
and the master plumbers took that up on Laurie's behalf and introduced training, but it's got a lot bigger since then. We run a training school with our industry partners called the Plumbing Industry Climate Action Centre, and we now do the full range of training, pre-apprenticeship, apprenticeship, all of the licensing requirements, and we try and keep our plumbers up to date.
Part of my role here is to talk about asbestos with the apprentices and make them sure that they are aware of the requirements to protect themselves. Can you guys share with me your experience on asbestos? What do you understand about asbestos?
It's a material, if disturbed or broken, can spread fibres that can be inhaled and cause damage.
Absolutely. Owners of businesses won't survive if they don't start to manage asbestos correctly.
We've demonstrated how even a small company like ours can achieve best practice in regards to asbestos.
Our careful approach has certainly paid off for our company because our clients have told us how happy they are that we look after the health and safety of them and their family.